on right now is all about queen health and queen quality and trying to understand what factors affect your queen. So what can happen to her to cause her to fail prematurely, and how can we avoid those risks? Yeah, there are a lot of queens that give up their lives to science, but as you'll see in the presentation, we really maximize what we can learn from them. We measure virtually everything. There are some queens for which we've measured sperm counts, sperm viability, ovary mass, microbiome community composition in their gut, protein expression in their spermathecae, viral abundances of the whole panel of viruses, nosema, protein expression in their ovaries. Like we've really used virtually everything we can from them. So it's a really valuable data set. When a colony has a queen event, so like if the queen dies prematurely, fails or is superseded naturally, that colony is 50% more likely to actually perish in the following 6 months. So it's a very kind of high risk event for a queen to fail. So even if failure rates are the same, I think that we should still do everything that we can to try to prevent that from happening in the first place, just because it's such a high risk for the colony. Some work that Jeff and I did involved putting temperature loggers on each frame of a 10-frame single deep colony during a heat wave down in California. And you can see that the temperature on each frame is very different. So the ones on the outside, they are most similar to the ambient temperature. So they go way up. They went up. There was one where the outermost frame was up to 45 degrees Celsius. And then it's progressively more stable towards the middle, as you would expect, because that's where they're really trying to thermoregulate that brood cluster. Some beekeepers in the interior of BC, queen producers, they made some pretty worrying observations in one operation. Again, this is not scientific, this is anecdotal. This is just like what they observed during and after the heat wave. But one beekeeper found many dead drones in her apiary, which makes sense because drones are very sensitive to temperature. They will just, instead of losing sperm viability, they'll just die. They can't survive it. So she found lots of dead drones and new nukes that had been produced during the heat wave. Half of them perished. And this is despite trying to insulate them with things like styrofoam and feeding light syrup and stuff. And mating success of the virgins that went into mating nukes during that time was down to 30%, when usually it's like 80 or 90 for her. So that's probably a combination of things, from lack of available drones, if a lot of them died, and potentially effects of heat on those small nucleus colonies. So I feel like things are getting extreme enough that they can affect colonies